welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Brittany and I am on a mission to hit 3,000 subscribers. So make sure you click that button below. I would appreciate it. So we are back with an embroidery sweater. Not the one you guys just saw, but I did actually have a customer reach out to me to do a one-off. She actually works at our local Winnie Palmer Orlando hospital, and she actually purchased a sweater herself and she asked me to embroider on it. Now the thing is that I've done quite a bit of videos just simply doing embroidery, so I'm trying to go a little bit more depth into what I'm doing, like a setup process. So that's kind of what I'm gonna do today. Obviously I will show you the end result at the end, but as of right now, I got the logo digitized. I use the 360 digitizing. I've talked about them before. I can link them below. I have no affiliation. I just personally like them, and so far so good. But the thing is that there is a small portion of the logo that is a little bit smaller. So I'm gonna show you guys how I will go ahead and adjust that, because really we're only working with 3 colors and my digitizer sent it over in 4. So we need to kind of group it all together, minimize it so it's not jumping around. So I'm gonna kind of show you how I do that on the Ricoma Inspire software. And then we're gonna hop it over to the computer. No, I'm not. I'm gonna hop it over to the machine and then we're gonna get embroidering from there. So let's get going. Okay, so now that we have purchased our logo and we have thrown it up on the Ricoma Inspire software, we need to make some minor adjustments. As you guys will see, the 4 women and babies is kind of on the smaller side. So more than likely I will be wanting to use my 65 needle and 65 thread just to make sure that it doesn't look like a big blob. Obviously we will run a sample, but we're gonna go ahead and highlight, as you guys just witnessed me doing that. It's going to then highlight everything, okay? And if you look down here on the corner, on the left-hand corner, it actually shows you numbers, what's going to associate with what you're dealing with here. Like I mentioned, we are actually technically only dealing with 3 colors in total. And so I am gonna go ahead and just switch this one to number 4. And all that I have to do, actually what I have to do is I have to go over to my commands, which is right over here. I know I don't know how to screen share. I'm sorry guys, so bear with the look. You have to go over commands. You're gonna go over where it says color, and then here it says 0. So we're gonna change that to number 4. 4 is going to match this one down here, so the orange, right? Because I'm going to be changing that in a second, so I don't really care. So right now it's going to allow this to print its own separate line, okay? Now what we're gonna focus on is actually changing everything else. Orange, Orlando is actually red. So I'm gonna highlight that one, okay? We're gonna go back over, to the commands, and we are gonna select number 2, because again, we're dealing with this control panel down here, as you guys will see, and Orlando needs to be red. Obviously, I don't really care about matching the colors on my program as much as I care about it on the machine. I'm just working with the colors that it defaulted with, so just kind of keep that in mind. And then also the heart here is actually its own separate color, so I will just go ahead and leave that blue. But everything else, such as like the health, the line, the Winnie Palmer Hospital, that technically all can be white. So I'm actually gonna change all of that to reflect green, which is our final remaining color. Now, obviously the 4 women and babies will also be white, but again, we need to switch the thread size and needle, which is why I set it on its own color. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna highlight the Winnie Palmer. I do take my time with this just because sometimes it can like grab the wrong thing. So I'm just gonna make this green. So again, command color 3. It's going to change that. We're also gonna go ahead and change this line here. Just pick 3. And now here, honestly, like this R right here, I think I'm just gonna remove it because it's going on a sweater. I don't know, maybe I should just leave it. I'll just remove it. It's okay. I'm just gonna remove it. So I'm just going to do health, and we're gonna switch that to number 3. So now when you look at everything, okay, it's going to show it as 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's exactly what we're wanting to go for. Also, while I'm in here, I will just verify the physical size. So what I will do is just kind of highlight everything. This should only be 4 inches by about 2 inches, which it is right on the money. So that is perfect. This will be fitting onto my 5x5 hoop. And now I just go to File, Save As, and then name it whatever I want. So I just will keep it Winnie Palmer. But again, we are switching this to a DST because that's what Ricoma requires. So now we can save it. So just in case you like to see everything I do, I'm just gonna go ahead and include this clip as well. It's just me going ahead and hooping the sweater. This is actually one of the fig sweaters. These are really expensive. Like these are like the good quality scrubs, but very pricey. So this is the sweater we're gonna be working with. Super cute. It's actually pretty heavy duty, but again, she's in the hospital, so it makes sense that she's probably always cold. Now, we are going to be adding her name on the opposite side, but I'm not gonna film that just for privacy reasons. But I will go ahead and show you the left chest logo. Again, we are gonna do the left chest since that's what we're working on. I am going to be using my cutaway. I do purchase this from Madeira, at least this giant roll, but I have found ones from Amazon I also really like. So do what you want with that information. And from here, we're actually just going to hoop her on. Now take your time with it. Like I've always said with embroidery, there's no rush, no rush. And if you are feeling rushed, you need to tell people it's gonna take longer to get their order out because you don't wanna be me and you don't wanna have to constantly replace products. Now I don't constantly replace products because of the way I'm hooping them. Sometimes it's Big Bertha over here. But you know, she's learning, we're learning together, we got this. And I'm just gonna go ahead, put this down. She looks good. Now, this might not be mandatory, but also like, what is it gonna hurt me? I am doing the water solubent at the top. I'm probably saying that wrong, but sometimes a lot of people will do this, especially when it comes to like blankets. But again, I'm dealing with what feels like a comfy sweater, so it can't hurt me, right? So we're just gonna add it to the top. But now let's go over to the machine. Let's get the color set up. Let's finish this. So if you just see my last video, this is actually the name I ended up Opal. I put it on the sleeve. Super cute, came out great. So as you guys can see, we have it locked because obviously we did work a project and I didn't clear the screen. That's completely fine. It's saying remove embroidery status, yes. So we're gonna hit yes. From here, we're gonna go over to files. Sometimes I do have to hit it a couple times. I've mentioned this already, but I do notice that with my nails, she is a little bit more responsive. So she's bougie, but that's all right. So we're gonna go over to SIM card. And as you guys see, I call it Winnie and it popped up. And now we're gonna hit this button, which is basically saying it's going from our USB over to our physical machine. It's gonna ask you if you wanna put it in a folder. I don't listen to it. I automatically say yes. Then we're gonna click on our machine button. Now again, you will see that I do have 9 full pages. So I typically will just go backwards because that's usually where it ends up. So instead of tabbing on through, I'll just go back one and it's going to put me on my very last page. Actually, since I'm here, I'm just gonna remove Opal. So if I click on Opal, which is the last name I embroidered, I don't need this again. It's a one-time thing. So just to kind of FYI, it will stay on your machine until you physically remove it. So I'm just gonna hit this X. It's gonna tell me to delete and I'm saying yes. Now it does not delete it off of your USB as long as you did not delete it yourself, but it will delete it physically off your Ricoma machine. So just kind of an FYI. So now if I click on Winnie, it's gonna go ahead, pop her on up, and by hitting OK, she's now gonna say, hey, listen, this is what we're embroidering. As you guys can see, there is a giant circle. This is actually selecting your hoop size. Clearly, as you can tell, if it's red, it means it will not fit. Obviously it will not. I actually use the A hoop that comes with your embroidery machine, since again, I was working with it was like a 2.5 inch letter. So you're gonna go over to Design Set. Design Set's gonna kind of pull up like your menu. This is kind of where you could resize your image. This is where you can flip. I've shown you guys that a couple times. And then down here, which is A, which is like this little hat button. If you click this, this is allowing you to physically change your hoop size. Commonly I do C for my 5x5 Mighty Hoop. I've said this numerous times, and one day I will do it. I can call and I can actually have them customize, set up according to people and sources on YouTube, where Ricoma can change this to fit more of my Mighty Hoop sizes. But until then, I just select C. C will fit for my 5x5, and I'm gonna hit OK. Hitting OK. If you guys could hear that over my talking, it was just adjusting my bracket, and now we're in the green, so everything is set. From here, actually, I'm going to select these little icons. I know it's a little chopped off, sorry about that. These little icons, this is actually gonna show all my thread. I've mentioned this multiple times. I'll continue to mention it. You can change these colors down here, the 1 through 15, to match up here. Again, sorry, because I don't have my ring light on. Don't even waste your time. I'm being dead serious about it. You guys are going to change your thread colors so frequent where you're gonna remember exactly what color is on what. I always know that my black is on 1 and my white is on 9. I always leave it on that. I don't change it, and then everything else kind of changes in between. All right, so what you don't actually see me doing right now is I actually do have the logo up right here, and I do have the cheat sheet here, so I know exactly what is being embroidered first. So let's set you on back down. Oh my goodness. Sorry guys, this is a little bit janky, but we're gonna make it work. So the first thing that's actually gonna get embroidered is the heart. The heart is kind of gold in my opinion, so I'm gonna go ahead and select 2 because that's where it's located. The next is going to be the Winnie Palmer Hospital. Actually, it separated things. I don't know why, but to this point, I don't care. Winnie Palmer is actually white. So again, we're gonna hit 9. Then it's gonna go into my baby font, which is I think it's Women and Babies. That is on my 7. So let's go ahead and hit 7. So that is going to now change it back to my 6565. Like I mentioned before, that's the custom feature, the whole reason we did the beginning of the video. And then it's actually gonna go into the Orlando, which is going to be red. So she is number 12. So we'll hit 12. And then finally it's gonna do health with the line, which is white. So we're gonna go to 9. From here, you will notice that it actually does show all my numbers here, and I can't go any further. So I'm just gonna hit OK. And now my machine is set up. Now, I don't know why, but it did not change my auto manual from when I did my last sweater mama. So I'm just gonna click on this, and AA just basically means it's gonna embroider straight through without me needing to stop in between each letter change. So all I have to do at this point is just hoop my product and hit start. So we're about to do a raw reaction on this. I was trying to film it up close, but because I did the water soluble, you kind of couldn't see much, especially with the smaller font, because that's what I was trying to focus on for you guys. Otherwise, everything else came out really good. I've also just confirmed the spelling with her on her name, her credentials, because of course we're adding that. And I'm just cleaning up a loose thread that occurred on the heart real quick. But otherwise I really can't like see the small font. So, she's tiny, look. So that's what I'm seeing. Can you guys see it? Very, very tiny. So let's just go ahead and remove this. I will do a minor cleanup. I did jump between the women and baby. So I don't like that for delivery purposes, but otherwise it's actually not that bad. I'm going to show you guys. So here is what do you think? Obviously you can see I still have it. I'm not really worried about that because that's not really gonna do any harm. What do you think about the small font? Came out really good? Yes? No? I am glad I added the water solvent at the top because again, we're working with small thread. But that's what we have. So far, so good. I really like it. Not gonna complain. I am gonna clean up the jumping between the letters just because that's a personal preference. It's only one. If I had it multiple, maybe I wouldn't. But again, one-offs, I can take a little bit more TLC involved. And now from here, basically, we are going to be working on her name placement. So that's what I have next. Otherwise, I'm gonna leave you guys here. Hopefully you did appreciate that video. Let me know what kind of content you guys are wanting to see. I know a couple people were saying to go a little bit more in depth with my setup process because I'm easier to understand, and I appreciate that. Like, that makes me so happy inside because personally in my real life, I feel like I don't explain things very well, and thankfully my husband can always crack the code on things that I say. So hopefully you appreciate the video. If you guys could, please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next crafting project. Bye everyone.